All right, in 3, 2, 1.
Oh! This is the podcast!
Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Out of a podcast?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and
podcast.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hey everyone, welcome to Get to the Podcast. My name is Diego De Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
The guy that keeps tapping on the table.
Yeah, this guy's literally tappity
No
tapper
one's
over
heard
here.
These taps. The taps are
all I hear is your tap just like ringing in my ears.
I don't hear anything.
It's not called Get
It's
to
like
the Beatbox.
It's totally silent.
Or Get
It's
to
totally
Neil's fingers.
silent.
You know what's interesting? Like you said the intro, and then I was expecting with the number 2. I totally
Did he not do
Should
that?
I do it again?
No.
Did you not say with the number 2?
No. You're like welcome. You know.
Okay,
I
well,
don't.
let's-
I don't
with the
check.
number
I don't
2.
check in mentally into the podcast until he goes, "I'm Diego De Souza," and then I just say, "You know."
Oh
the
no!
next
It seemed like I was.
He's Skype. He's not
Something's
Skyping.
not
Why would I
right.
say Skyping? He's Snapchatting.
I'm
Until
Snapchatting?
I
I don't Snapchat. I'm a 32-year-old man. I don't Snapchat.
Here, let's rewind. If
If I'm Snapchatting, you know it's not for anything good. Let's put it that way.
That's true.
At this age, there's no reason for me to be fucking Snapchatting.
Oh yeah.
I get pushed to be on so many social media platforms, and I'm like, no.
I don't want to be
There
on the
are a
ones
lot.
I am on.
Don't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like I want to look up and see a person's face.
What I love is like all these privacy violations, and then like the CEOs of all these companies are like, the app is free. How did you think we were making money? We're stealing your data and selling it to a third party. Like, duh.
We're chipping
How do
away.
people
Why
get
are you
surprised
upset?
by that?
We're slowly
People
chipping
are
away
so
at the
fucking
foundation of
surprised.
society and
Like,
selling off
Yeah,
your soul bit
I
by
thought
bit.
this was like a benign multi-billion-dollar company, and like, where did the billions of dollars come from?
These guys aren't saving whales and cleaning up the ocean. They're fucking just like stealing. They're working on a complete capitalist concept of make money in the dollar any way
free.
you can.
I don't get
Use
it. How are
Snapchat
people
as
so
long as they can take
surprised
your
that
information.
their like information gets stolen? You're
I
fucking
wasn't surprised.
online.
It's not really stolen because it's all like in their.
Well, I mean, like-
do you approve these rules and regulations?
I don't mean by the
To be
company
honest, though-
itself. I mean like just being online, your information
Oh,
gets
yeah.
gotten by a hacker or whatever. I don't know how people are. As soon as the internet came out, and you're saying we are sharing information around the world,
Yeah.
back and forth. Okay.
Nothing's really secure.
But here's the thing: I can be all high and mighty, but I'm honestly the first person into the gas chamber. Like I don't give a fucking shit. Like I have nothing. Like if they're stealing my data, I'm like, all right, I don't know what you're gonna do with it, but it's
See,
got
that's
nothing
what
to
they
do with
want.
me.
They
Yeah.
want. And
That's
like,
what I'm saying. I'm the
and-
first one into the gas chamber. You got the
Initially,
reference.
everybody-
I'm the
I don't
same
give a
way.
shit.
I'm the
Like,
same way. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
don't care. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know.
I'm gonna be the first one with the chip in my head. Like,
I think there was
I don't give a shit
outrage.
enough, so I'm gonna end up being on the receiving end of the butt fuck. I
But
get it.
I think there was outrage in the beginning, but it's happened so many times that everyone's just
No,
gotten.
people
like,
are
Maybe
still
that's the thing,
surprised
right?
about
Maybe
it.
that's the plan.
That was the
Inundate
plan.
you
Because
until
now it's like you're just
numb to it.
Yeah, now it's like you just hand over everything and you don't even care.
Like everything
that's the
is
most
shared.
people.
Like I have a colleague that she doesn't log into her bank account online because she doesn't want her information to get stolen.
Oh, I
I'm
still
like,
know. Like,
you know, the
I have
bank
family
is
members
online?
that like
Yeah.
won't text things. They're like, it's unsecure, and I'm like, the only people that are reading are like the NSA. And
Yeah,
they
and
read
what's
it
the worst
since
that's gonna
day one,
happen? You're
like-
gonna end up in some prison somewhere and maybe beat and tortured to death. Like, who
I
cares?
mean.
no, but like
My
in the
thing
lo-
is
in-
like,
in-
if
in- in-
I've
in the-
had my credit card stolen and charged fraudulently, and I just call the bank and I'm like, I didn't make those
Yeah.
charges, and they're like, okay, let's do a thing, and then they refund the money, and then it's
know,
whatever.
it's so
not-
easy. I don't-
It's not a big deal.
People
I don't
make-
want somebody to steal my identity.
It's
though, and,
annoying.
Like, buy
That's the
I want to
thing.
be like
It's
Sandra
just
Bullock
annoying
in the
that you have
net.
to.
I want to end up. It's gonna like throw me into some murder mystery, fucking like.
Yeah, North by Northwest.
Yeah, I want to be. I want to get involved,
That was
man.
a good segue.
That was a good.
We're
segue.
coming back to the movies.
Yeah, let's talk about movies. Let's talk about movies. It always goes back to movies.
It does.
It,
It
we
does.
always
hope-
always end up getting to the movies.
I
Yeah.
hope so.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's the podcast.
That is.
That is the podcast.
So
This is not a political podcast.
It's not. I was this close to mentioning Trump, by the way, but I was like, you know, what, I'm gonna skirt around that one. But
I bet he gets hacked.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
By the way, just before,
He
did
doesn't
you know
need to
that
be.
there's a parade going on? I forgot which country it was.
Scotland.
And is it Scotland?
Another parade is a march.
No,
Is this
it's a parade.
associated
There's a
with Trump?
parade going on, and it's definitely not where you're thinking then, because there's a parade going on, and the mayor of I gotta get the city approved a baby
Oh yeah,
blimp
That's
of Trump.
That's where he's talking about.
Yeah, it's a parade, but it's a march. It's a march. It's an anti-Trump march.
Yeah, what do
Isn't
they
it?
call it?
Yeah,
Oh,
because,
okay.
because
It's
he's
like
over there.
something.
Yeah.
It's like a name, like a.
There's a name.
It's always a name. Yeah,
It's like
So
a
it is in
Occupy Wall
Scotland?
Street, but it's like they have their own name.
right,
like,
and
like,
it's even another country. Like it's not even like.
Oh,
they're-
it's like worldwide. They've been
yeah.
in D.C. They had like 100,000 people show up in D.C. for the same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, you would too.
You don't hear about it. Like I find out like weeks later, like 100,000 people marched on D.C. for like some anti-whatever, and I'm like, why wasn't that like anywhere in the media? Like they just ignore 100,000 people now.
No,
Like, that
no,
means
it's
nothing.
there, but it's not like it used to be. Like when the Million Man
Dude,
March happened in the early
I
90s,
see
you
headlines.
knew about it.
I see headlines. Fans donate money to Kylie Jenner so she can become a billionaire because she's almost a billionaire.
What?
And I'm like, this is like the main
that
stories
real?
that show. Yes, this is a real thing. She almost made $1 billion, and the fans are literally sending her money via like Snapchat or something because you can send money
I'm
down
gonna start one.
so that she can become a billionaire, just so she can become a billionaire.
I'm gonna start one. Says
This is how insane
that
people are.
I'm not even close to becoming a billionaire. Would like to be one. Donate.
It's crazy because, like, in social media this week, they were talking about these two movies that got greenlit, right? It's the Joker.
Anyways, back.
That's the
It was
segue.
on Snapchat.
Yeah, it was on Snapchat.
That sounds
It was
like
on
something we could
Snapchat.
talk about. Yeah,
I was
yeah.
Snapchatting with this girl, and she was like, "Oh, here's a story. Can you share links on Snapchat?"
Yes.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't have an account.
There's
I had
there's a
Snapchat for, like, 2
message
seconds back
service,
in the
and then
day.
you can send videos and photos and
You
but
couldn't.
there
You
is a
couldn't
message
originally when it
service.
came out. I don't think you could do that. I think it was strictly just these.
Yeah, the messages
these
may have been-
self-destruct pictures and videos about was about.
But it was also text. You could send like a self-destruct text where you would send somebody a communication and then it would
don't-
like delete itself.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No. When it first came out, it was literally you can only add text to a video or photo. It was limited.
Oh, maybe
as
that's
shit.
what it
Yeah,
was,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That was it though.
If you
Some people would take a picture in the dark and they'd be like
Yeah.
write a text over it and so it wasn't really a picture or video, but it was still.
If you've gotten something out of this Snapchat chat tutorial,
There-
thank you for coming.
There is a segue because a lot of actors and actresses now are like going on Instagram stories and like posting things about a production
Yeah.
that they're not supposed to do, and then it immediately gets deleted.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, it's already in the.
it's probably
There's always a way
It's
around, but
whatever.
then there's always a new rule, but then there's always another way around, then there's
Yeah.
always a new rule. That's the system. Anyways,
So the
let's
first
get
piece of
down.
news from this week that just popped up is that they're doing a Zombieland 2.
Woo!
Right? So the last one came
Hey,
out.
dude, I love that movie.
That
It
movie,
is such a
Zombieland is
good
so
fucking-
good. That was
a
First
great
time you
movie,
watch
yeah.
it.
Absolutely.
Was this a spoiler if I talk about?
No,
the
yeah,
end?
talk
no,
about
go
it.
ahead. Since
Where
we're-
it says BM,
Yeah.
on the front of his house or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
When Bill Murray shows
Murray,
up,
yeah.
like watching that in the theaters the first time, you're like, this is so fucking clever.
Yeah, he
Like,
plays
it's just
himself
so great.
in the zombie
Yeah.
apocalypse.
He's like a zombie,
And he
they're
dresses
like,
up like a zombie to fit in with the other zombies so that he could still golf. And like,
yeah, and he's like, because he's like, he can't stop acting or something. He's like, oh, I get into it. He's
what is
like,
it,
talking
Casa
about-
La Murray? They go to
Casa
his
La
big,
Murray.
huge mansion, and
There's all these paintings of Bill Murray
Yeah.
everywhere, and you think like, does Bill Murray really live like this? Like,
and they
this
end
is
up
just
shooting
like-
and killing Bill Murray by accident. That's
Because
the
he tries
spoiler.
to, like, okay, it's a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Bill Murray's alive, dressed as a zombie, and then he tries to scare the shit out of Jesse Eisenberg
Yeah.
as a zombie.
Yeah,
Of
with
course,
a
Jesse
shotgun.
Eisenberg didn't fucking
He's
shoot
a
him.
shotgun. Yeah.
I was kind of sad, though, when he died.
It was, but they did it. If you look, I think it was
the way he dies is funny.
post-
He was just
it's
like-
funny because he takes forever to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they wrap him up in
That
a
was
carpet and they throw him off
hilarious.
the. Don't they throw
And
him
they're
off
like
the
carrying his
balcony or
body
whatever?
out and like
Yeah.
banging him into shit, like smashing his head and legs.
But
and
the
shit.
post-credit
That's
scene
great.
was great because it's Woody Harrelson. While they're crying around him, and Woody Harrelson is trying to do a line from Caddyshack.
Yeah.
Where it was Carl, I guess was his name in Caddyshack, and he's trying to do it, and he goes, "How does it go?" And Bill Murray kind of opens his eyes. He's supposed to be dead, opens
Right.
his eyes, and he does the line. Dalai Lama. That whole thing. It's a Cinderella story out of nowhere. He's on the 18th hole. It's a Cinderella story out of nowhere. But so it's great. So he like redoes that character at the end. But the whole movie is funny.
Yeah.
It's like there's Shaun of the Dead and Zombieland are the
It's
two
exciting.
like parody zombie movies, but it's done
roles,
well.
The
Yeah.
rules are great, or
Yeah.
he's like writing down.
Yeah,
the rules,
but
Don't never
even
be
the
a hero.
animation of how it kind of like the graphics on the screen for the rules are
And then
funny.
you know, like
Yeah.
the zombie
You
kill
know,
of the
double
week,
tap.
where it would like cut to like some random old lady
Yeah,
who was
zombie
like
kill
killed
of
a
the week.
zombie or whatever.
So by the way, the way that happened is it was originally conceived as a TV show. Zombieland. And the zombie kill of the week was supposed to be something they would feature in every episode.
Was there actually a show?
Yeah, there was no. They ended up later on, like about 4 years ago, doing a pilot episode for Amazon.
Yeah.
You could watch it, but it didn't, and it had other people playing the same characters as Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg, replaced by other actors, and it just didn't get picked up. They didn't order anything more than a pilot for it. So they did end up doing one later on, but originally the script for the movie was originally a TV show concept, and they were writing it as a TV show.
In a weird way, I like that Amazon does it because they have a ton of shows on there that there's only one episode. There's a pilot, and they're like, this might get picked up, and you may see it in like a year or something.
Right, but the pilot's still there at least, whereas some of these other shows, network television back in the day, you couldn't see the pilot.
You would never see
That's
it.
the thing about Amazon. They don't invest into it as much as Netflix, and I think that's their only issue.
They're trying.
They're trying to,
but they
but
also do
I
more
think
than just
that.
Netflix. They're Amazon, as a retail giant. They got music. They got all these other
They
things.
got
So
but
it's
with
an
their
department, whereas
production-
Netflix, it's their whole bread and butter.
Don't get me wrong, their productions, like a lot of their productions, are incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Man in the High Castle. I mean, I love that.
Oh, yeah.
All their productions.
Woman in the Low Castle. That's Handmaid's
What's
Tale.
the one with Billy Bob?
What was
Goliath.
Oh yeah, Goliath. I
That's
haven't
a great
watched that
show.
yet.
Even the Jean-Claude Van Damme one.
Oh, yeah,
I haven't watched that yet, but I
they
want to watch
canceled
that.
it.
They
They
canceled
canceled
it,
it. Yeah,
but it was
John
That's
Van
what I'm
Johnson
saying.
or whatever.
Yeah.
I wanted to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He plays like
It's like they're trying to
version of
pull a
himself.
Fox and they just cut it.
Well, they just picked up The Expanse, which was a sci-fi network show.
I watched that.
You didn't like it? Dude, I loved it. I watched the first two
You talking
seasons.
about
I
the
haven't
one
seen the
with,
third season.
Halle Berry.
No. This is the show on
Oh,
Sci-Fi.
no. Okay, I know what you're
where
talking
they
about.
like.
No, The Expanse is with Halle Berry.
No. Halle Berry's not in it. This is the
So
show.
it's a different show.
It's a different show.
Is it Halle Berry
There
or
is
Halle
a show
Berry?
with Halle Berry.
Halle
There is
Berry.
a
Halle
sci-fi
Berry.
show with
Yeah,
Halle
Not
Berry.
Holly Hunter. It's Halle Berry.
Yeah, I know
Okay,
it's
Like Hal.
this guy.
it's Halle, right?
Halle. He was saying Holly.
Halle.
though.
Oh, yeah.
Halle.
I was taking offense with the Holly.
Holly.
He's taking offense.
That's
with
my girl right
how I
there, Halle
pronounce it.
Berry, man.
Yeah, she was
It's
in.
it was my girl in
Oh God,
Swordfish.
what was that movie with fucking what's his name?
Last Boy Scout?
The dude from
Last
Dick
Boy
Tracy.
Warren Beatty. Oh,
Warren
Bulworth.
Beatty, Bulworth. I fucking love
That's
Bulworth.
a great movie. He
Such
wrote and
a good
directed
movie.
that too.
Yeah, I know.
Ghetto Superstar.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But yeah. So The Expanse was a show that got canceled. Sci-Fi Network canceled it after 2 seasons, and then literally all of these like people in the industry contacted Jeff Bezos and was like, "You need to pick up the show and continue
it
the
up.
show." And like even George R.R. Martin and Stephen
I think
King
I know what show
like
you're talking
called
about. Is it?
Wow.
called Jeff Bezos and sent him emails and were like, "Don't let this show get canceled. It's one of the best sci-fi shows on television." And then he was like, and then he had never heard of it, so he watched a couple episodes of the season or something, and was like, "Oh, this is a great show."
then
And
he
then
kept it.
and then he's just like, "Sure, here's $100 million. Like continue the show."
Jesus.
It's like pocket change to him.
That's crazy.
He literally makes like $100 million like a day.
Oh,
or
I know
something.
what you're talking about.
It
Yeah,
can't be that much.
You
That's
need
some
to watch the
ridiculous-
show.
it's probably
Okay.
crazy.
I
need
thought
to
it was
watch
called. I knew you were talking. There's 2 shows. There's another show with Holly.
Yeah,
Holly.
I've seen it.
Halle.
Hey man, people have
Halle.
accents. People
Halle.
have accents. I was in the South.
H-A-L-L.
Ha.
H-A-E.
You say ha.
I-E.
Ha ha
Is it
ha.
I-E or E? It's
See,
I-E.
ha.
I-E.
See that A sounds like an O. Ha ha.
No, it's Hal.
I understand what I'm saying is that in the country the A sounds like an O.
How?
I lived in North Carolina.
All right. Yeah.
It's
for like 20 minutes.
And
Like
I'm
Hal
Brazilian,
from-
so my lingo's all
Hal
confused.
9000?
Yeah.
Is it 9000?
Hal 9000.
Yeah. It is 9000. From
See,
2001.
it sounds like I'm saying Hal.
You are so ridiculous on this Stanley
Doesn't
Kubrick
matter.
shit.
He's
You don't
the-
know anything. You
It
literally
sounds like
know
I'm
like
saying
nothing.
HOW.
Just
That's
so
what-
the audience knows,
It's just because of The Shining.
Christopher Nolan basically said in an interview, he exactly said in an interview that
Kubrick was the greatest director of all time.
yeah.
I know. It's,
Kubrick.
He's such a
Stanley
dick.
Kubrick
He's such a
is
dick.
or
Just in
was
case
the
you guys
greatest
didn't
director
know,
of all
we're
time.
referencing back
and,
to a
and even
war
like he went as far
that
as
we
to be
had
like
back
the
again.
reason he's made films
Yeah.
was because he was
I know.
inspired
And
by
that's exactly
2001:
what
A
we
Space
said.
Odyssey.
If you think
which
so-
is what
Nick.
you argued against.
I know.
Yeah.
And the
But-
guy came out and said it, which is so crazy.
I
to
know
me.
what's crazy
And
though.
he
If you
re-released
look
it.
at his
He
movies though, they're
re-released
like all his movies are almost all homages
reference.
to Kubrick. You know, Interstellar's a homage to 2001.
Even
Dark Knight,
Inception.
at least the Joker character is an homage to Malcolm McDowell's character in Clockwork Orange. Alex.
in many ways.
And that's
yeah.
what he was saying at the podcast. and you just weren't-
Dunkirk. I mean, it's not Path to Glory, but he did a war film and he did Full Metal.
You know what's happening
Kubrick
right
did
now,
Path to
Neil.
Glory
You
and
know
Full
what's
Metal
happening right
Jacket.
now.
I'm agreeing
You know
with
he's
you. I'm just
he's,
saying
he's
I get it.
climbing back out of the hole.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's climbing out of the hole.
All right, but let's go back to Zombieland.
That's true.
So Zombieland-
it doesn't really get better than that. Though.
Yeah.
It does.
All right,
I
let's
mean, literally, the
He loves
guy you
seeing
were
you climbing out of the
defending was like, has like came out and he re-released
I'm gonna start
2001: A Space Odyssey in 70
I'm going to start a
millimeter
new
across the
segment,
country.
podcast kill of the week. Keep fucking talking. So, Zombieland, I love that goddamn movie. I've seen it a bunch of
great
times.
movie.
It's rewatchable like a motherfucker. It's,
I just watched it 2 days ago.
Yeah, if anybody's ever seen Shaun of the Dead, it's different than Shaun of the Dead, but those are the two comedy parodies.
It's more gritty.
Yeah, it is darker because they do the zombie really well. Shaun of the Dead does do zombies well, but it's not as heavy as Zombieland can get. Like they're doing a real zombie movie with humor in it.
Yeah,
And I like both of those
darker,
have kind of like that overarching love story between
Yes.
like Jesse Eisenberg and
Emma Stone.
and then
Woody Harrelson and his daughter thing.
well, no, like
Woody Harrelson was great.
and
Yeah,
Shaun of the
Tallahassee.
Dead. There's like the boyfriend, girlfriend, ex-girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
And then that whole, and I feel like it's like a joke the whole time, and then all the way at the end does it become kind of like serious.
Yes.
Like, you know, after his mom turns, and then his best friend turns, and then and then it becomes like this whole serious thing about their relationship. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
It's
And
great.
the way they ended it was interesting. It basically like everybody kind of got in control of it, and now we keep zombies as
They're like pets or
They're like
whatever,
pets, and they have game shows with them. Zombieland ends kind of open-ended. The four of them end up going off, kind of riding off into the sunset to figure out this world, which sets itself up for a sequel. And the sequel, they just greenlit it, and they locked in a date, October 2019. It's going to start filming in January 2019. January 2019, and released October.
That's quick.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, it's not a big, huge production, like visual. Like they could do that. If they spend 2 months shooting, and they have
that's
7
true.
months to edit it. They're fine. They'll be doing fine. And it's released
that's-
for
I mean,
Halloween.
that's
It's
really
a zombie
quick, though.
film being released on Halloween. That's a good idea.
No, it's a great idea. It's just really quick turnaround.
Yeah.
For a production still.
Yeah. But these smaller movies could do that.
When is Venom coming out? Soon.
That's coming out November, I think, of this year.
Oh, after.
No, this year.
Oh, this year.
Yeah,
this year.
and the same director, Ruben Fleischer, who's directed the original Zombieland, is directing Venom, is directing Zombieland 2.
Yeah.
They're bringing back the original stars: Woody Harrelson, Emma Stone, Abigail Breslin, and Jesse Eisenberg. All four of them are coming back.
Yeah.
I'm sure Woody Harrelson still, is trying to find Twinkies.
Right.
So fucking thing.
It's
Same writers. Rhett
Even at the
Reese.
end of that movie, though, you don't, because zombie movies, it's like sometimes hard to predict. Everybody goes back to like Walking Dead, where everyone dies, or they kill off major characters and stuff like that. So like I was
Walking Dead
rewatching it and I had forgotten. I was like,
does not feel good.
did they survive this? I couldn't remember if they survived.
Oh,
at
they
the end
completely
or not.
survived because they had that whole. Where did they go to? Not Adventureland. They're going to
that was the
Pacific
other Jesse
Playland or
Eisenberg
something like
movie.
that.
Yeah, Pacific.
Oh yeah,
Playland or
Adventureland
something
was
like
the other
that.
Eisenberg movie.
Yeah.
Right, but they're trying. The whole thing is Emma Stone and her sister. I don't even know if that was actually her sister.
It may have been somebody that she
ended
found
up,
or whatever. and then they
something
kind
like
of,
that. I don't
hooked
remember
up.
if it ended up being her actual sister. But yeah, so they're trying to get to the West Coast to go to this theme park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Emma Stone, Emma Stone's kind of telling her, "Hey, listen, this is a haven. Nobody's, zombie free there and stuff like that."
Right.
But Emma Stone knows it's probably bullshit, but she's just trying to give this girl hope.
Yeah.
And so they end up all over there. Fighting off zombies at the end of the movie. That's the whole showdown. They're literally surrounded by hundreds, if not thousands, because they turn on the fucking lights of this park.
But the
sounds start going,
corral
and
them
all
away
the
or
zombies
something.
start coming to this one location. And so Jesse Eisenberg and Woody Harrelson show up to fucking lend a hand. And Woody Harrelson's character is like a badass zombie fucking killer.
He secures himself in
In a
his
little,
booth
like,
or whatever.
yeah, a
and
little
he has like
concession stand.
handguns.
A
and
little
you-
concession stand.
Yeah, you think he's like gonna die. Like I thought he was gonna die.
There's
whenever we
hundreds
watched
of
it,
you
'cause
have
I'd
no idea
forgotten.
how he even gets out of it, but there's hundreds of zombies circling and coming,
Somehow-
closing on this one location,
Yeah.
and he's got a couple guns, guns, and he just fucking blasts them.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really a great.
It's a great film, yeah.
I do love when
And
he
they
like
drive off the
shoots,
sunset.
fires a shotgun and it hits the box of Twinkies,
Yeah.
and they're
And
just
he loses his
mush.
shit.
And he's just like Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah.
He's like I don't know how to like. And he's like, don't fucking
Don't.
say anything.
Yeah. There hasn't been, after Zombieland, there was a lot of that style of film that came out.
Not
There's-
comedy, but zombie wise.
No,
Was
zombie
that
wise.
the
Well,
Boy
zombie
Scouts
wise,
Guide to
because there's
Surviving
a
the
show.
Zombie
Warm
Apocalypse?
Bodies.
Warm Bodies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see that Boy Scouts Guide?
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I saw part of it. Zombie Scout's Guide to the Zombie
Based on a book or
Apocalypse
something like that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
actually really good. It's a really funny movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was really well done. I'd never even heard of it, and then randomly it was on cable, and I watched it, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that was actually really fucking funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They actually, you're
Yeah.
right. They did do a few. They did one in the school. That was the Scout's Guide, wasn't it? What's the one where they close them in on? They're in a school, and like some of the teachers turn, and some of the other kids. Fuck, what is that
Oh
one?
yeah,
You know what I'm talking
I think
about?
I saw a trailer for that. I don't think that's this because the
It's
Scouts
not Scouts
guy.
guy.
No,
It's
it's
not
something
Scouts
else.
guy.
They end up in a
It's something
school
else.
at
I know
the
what you're
end.
talking about.
But,
But you're right. No, this is the one
where
where they're like in the school. It's almost like a Dawn of the Dead kind of
yeah.
like.
I never saw that.
Yeah.
I do
There's
remember
just
seeing
a lot.
the trailer
I saw
and
the
thinking it
trailer
looked
looked
good.
like
Yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, what the fuck is going on?
Because it
here?
almost became its own genre.
Yeah.
You know, just
Zombie-
to have that
zombie
horror,
comedy.
drama,
Yeah.
and comedy together. It almost.
But the
became its
only
own-
ones, the ones that are at the top of the heap, are absolutely Shaun of the Dead and Zombieland.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see a sequel to this movie. They've been talking about it for
Yeah.
years. They tried the show, that didn't work, but now they've now greenlit it.
Yeah.
They have script. You know, they have all the actors coming back from the original,
They'll-
same director.
They'll
same
greenlight.
writers.
It's just funny to me. Like Hollywood is such an interesting place. Like I was following this these
understatement.
13 Thai boys that
so
were
true.
that were like
Oh
trapped
yeah,
in the cave.
Yeah, they're already doing 2 movies on it.
I know. I read that there was.
They're setting up a
articles, like,
museum.
2 movies.
They're going to.
I'm
put
sure
a
it
museum
was
there.
like it's probably going to be and like the whole what occurred was probably insane and
Yeah.
it's like perfect to make a movie about it. But,
it's got a 3-act structure built into it.
Yeah, I think they
that
announced
one
it
guy
before,
died trying to help them out.
But they announced the films were being
Before they were all out.
optioned before they even made it out of the fucking
They had like
cave.
the first
And I was
few
like,
out.
Oh my god,
They had the first few
this
out
is so
because no matter
ridiculous.
how it ended, it would work for a movie. I mean, they did
This
one on
is
the
like on-
minor. They did one in the chillin'.
But it would be like some horrible
yeah, they did.
terrorist
33.
attack, and like like during the terrorist attack, they're like, we're Hollywood's optioning like the rights to make
Yeah.
a movie, and I'm like, are you guys like, fuck, you guys
Yeah.
are unfucking believable.
That's.
I mean, this
they're
wasn't
writing
that, but I'm
books
just
are
saying,
being
like,
written
I wouldn't
about
be
it. They're just
surprised.
doing- yeah, I know.
I mean,
know.
if you really think about like.
I saw that 13.
You guys got me going back to
Inglorious.
Inglorious Bastard,
Yeah.
where that first scene, it was basically about milk.
Yeah.
That memorable scene.
Oh, I love that intro.
Yeah,
And I love how they made something so dramatic about milk.
That's
And that's
you know,
Hollywood.
Quentin
I mean,
Tarantino.
you
But that's
take the
Tarantino.
simplest thing and you make this like whole universe out of it.
That is
And-
something
Oh,
simple.
yeah.
Yeah,
and
you could do
so-
something out of anything.
I mean, Zombieland, you know, I feel like there used to be a term that if you want something to make money, you go to either rockets or you go to zombies. Those are
Right.
the 2 things that you go to.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like that is anymore. So, but I think because Walking Dead kind of wore it out. on
They're
the
on like
zombie thing.
season 9 now.
I know, but that's a depressing show. I think we need
I thought
comedy.
they were gonna do like a Lost thing and end it like season.
Well, there's
5.
another
Just, like, wrap
show-
everything up. You know,
I think 5 seasons is all you need for these more dramatic shows. Comedies can go longer.
there's 2. Aren't there 2 spin-offs or something?
They
There's
did
one
Fear the
spin-off.
Walking Dead.
Spin-off.
Fear the Walking Dead.
And things
The
are
Walking
changing.
Dead.
This I'm probably one of the few that have made
You're
it.
still watching?
I am still watching.
I stopped after like season 4.
I stopped
you
at
know,
season
it's-
1.
It's really depressing, but it's like that's what it hooks you. It's like Game of Thrones. It hooks you on that like
It
fucking,
does.
you know,
It
that
does.
depressing
And
cliffhanger.
The thing about it is that what I like about Walking Dead is that there's so many storylines going on, and it's like you're watching multiple films
Yeah.
if you really pay attention to each character
Yeah.
that is in the
And
series.
You're actually
So-
afraid of the zombies.
Exactly.
Like, they're actually
And
a
sometimes
threat,
you just
whereas
have to
Zombieland,
fucking, like-
you don't really. They are a threat, but you're like they're gonna make it through.
yeah. And sometimes
It's
you just
lighter.
like get
It's lighter.
connected to a character, and you're like, okay, I have to see what happens. And
Daryl,
that's what
is
happened.
Daryl still alive? They didn't kill Daryl.
Daryl?
yet.
No, Daryl's still alive.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but I mean, things are changing because
He's like the best character.
Yeah.
I mean him and Rick Grimes.
Yeah.
yeah. I
Those
got
are the
show.
only two. Yeah,
Remind me,
everybody
I got to
else is
show
dead.
you the trailer of
Is
the
everyone else
the comedy they made from that. So that was another one that was like Zombieland. They made a comedy from Walking Dead.
Oh, like a spoof or something?
Yeah, they made a spoof. It's
Yeah.
the movie wasn't hilarious, but the trailer was one of the best fucking
The
trailers.
trailer.
It's like one of the best. I've seen.
I
the
love like
trailer
that's
so
his
many
own
times.
source of entertainment. He's like the movie sucked.
Don't watch the movie.
The
but watch
movie
the
was
trailer.
a shit sandwich, but you know
Tell
that
me
trailer
who in here
that-
has not seen the trailer that made them so excited and then watched the film. They
Everybody.
were like, I need to go back to the trailer.
That's like going to a
Everybody-
diner
dude, I
and getting the
rewatched
picture of the
trailers.
burger. God, that fucking burger looks great. You get it, it comes out, and it's like this is the biggest piece of shit I've ever.
It's
put in my
literally every
mouth.
time you go to
All right,
McDonald's
well
or
then
Wendy's.
I will go to McDonald's afterward, but I'll still take the picture.
No, I know.
That's every time you eat fast food.
Yeah.
You look at the photo and you're like, man, that looks so delicious. And
Then you
it
get
comes
this
out and it's
smash
like
down.
this
Lying
Yeah.
sex
What is
shit.
this, grilled cheese? I thought it was supposed to be a burger.
Yeah, you're like, where's the like height? There's no
Yeah.
height. This is like went from like 4 inches to like half an inch.
Exactly. All right, but there's
More.
another
There's another movie that just got greenlit.
yeah.
And this
which
one.
I'm so excited about.
Yes, Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker in an origin story taking place in the 80s. It's a crime drama produced by Martin Scorsese and directed by Todd Philips, surprisingly. Todd Philips
Yeah.
did the
Wow.
Hangover movies. He did Old School.
What was the most recent thing he did?
That's the one. He did Due Date, but he also did one other recent one that was more. I don't
did he
think it was a
direct the
straight up
third
comedy.
Hangover?
Yeah, he directed all
He
three.
did it 3. Okay.
Yeah, but he did one his more recent movie that showed that he's kind of got. God, what was that one? It wasn't Wag the Dog. Oh, it was War Dogs. It was War Dogs, which
Yeah.
had more kind of like it was funny
little
stuff
bit more
in
serious.
it. Yeah, but it was way more. Yeah, it was more serious about
I
the
liked
actual
it.
guys who got that government bid, government contract
Two
to
like
supply
20-year-olds or whatever.
Yeah, to supply guns.
That was a good movie.
Yeah.
That was a good movie, and Todd Phillips directed that, so that showed that he can go outside of the kind of just the comedy element. Even Hangover has kind of action in it and kind of crazy shit, so he can handle something bigger.
Yeah.
It was Jonah Hill
I think
and
he's gonna do well.
Miles Teller.
Yeah, Miles
Yeah.
Teller, yeah.
Here's the thing before we get too into this film, this whole
Joker.
Joker thing. I'm excited that a lot of people are hating on this, but I'm excited about this because I think this is the way that DC needs to go.
Right.
I feel like
I'm
them
concerned for Joaquin Phoenix, man. He
I'm
already
not. I
seems
think
like an
he's-
unhinged person
That's
outside
the greatest
of the
part.
Is it though? Is he
I
gonna like
think
Heath
he
Ledger
is-
after, like before the film comes out or some shit because he like upset himself so much playing this role that now
But if you
he's
think
dead?
of him,
That's a myth.
But
That's
if
a
you
myth.
think of
That's
him,
not-
Oh, that's
That's
not-
not the case at all. No, like
then he,
people
like-
said they were like on set with him, and he was in between takes. He wasn't like being the Joker.
But he
and
did
all
like
obsessed.
OD on like
Yeah,
prescription medication.
But he was on that shit beforehand. Like,
Yeah,
that's
no,
just,
that was
is-
just-
that's
yeah.
not- we caused
Do you
that
know that
effect because
stuff
we
got
don't
cut-
know him. So all we saw was he did this movie, then he died.
it could have been
There's
like 10 years in the making. or
Thousands of
something.
moments in between movies.
Yeah.
You know, all we know is the movie, and then he's dead.
Yeah.
That doesn't
Yeah.
mean that's what caused it.
there was footage out with him, and I think it was the what's the two sisters from House
The Olsen-
Full House.
Olsen twins. Yeah,
The Olsen
yeah. He
twins,
was. Well, she
where
one
he
of them
was
found
part-
him.
Yeah, where they were
Oh, they were like
partying.
buddies?
They were
Found him dead.
Well, the footage got taken out. There was footage leaked where they were partying in the hotel room and doing crazy stuff.
before
I don't
he
think it
died?
showed like them doing anything illegal, but it was and.
He just had
that's
too many-
that's the hotel that he died.
Why can't
at.
people just stick to like
a
drugs
apartment.
you know won't kill you,
Apartment,
like
yeah.
cocaine?
They will kill you.
No, but people take these prescription drugs and they think they can get the same high as cocaine, so they'll like grind up their depression pills or whatever and snort it. And I'm like, why not just get some cocaine? You're a celebrity. Like, you know that you can control the
God, we're
cocaine.
pitching this right now. you
This is
know?
so ridiculous.
It's
And
the
it's such
worst.
an uninformed
It's like-
take on drugs.
I'm not a
Here's
pharmacist,
a little
so
quick,
don't take what I
here's a
say
little quick
with a grain
commercial
of
for you
salt.
guys. Hi, I'm Neil.
like,
I would just like to say, if you're a
we know,
celebrity,
like-
don't do half-ass drugs.
We know, like
do
Bill
cocaine.
Murray. Yeah,
coke.
like all these celebrities,
Have
these
coke
like
and a
old
smile.
school SNL
You know?
guys are like all doing drugs and they're still alive. But these guys snorting these prescription things are like dead.
You know,
Like,
there's a lot of
30.
SNL guys.
Take some
that
advice
died
from-
because
It's
it's
too
fucking
much.
OD. John
It's too much.
Belushi, Chris
Yeah.
Farley.
For all you
Chris
new
Farley hung
actors,
himself.
take some
No, he
advice
didn't.
from Charlie Sheen.
No, he OD'd. His heart stopped.
Wait, who hung himself?
Charlie Rocket shot himself in or cut his own throat.
Are you sure Chris Farley didn't like?
No, he didn't.
No,
kill
no.
himself. He didn't kill
Strangulation?
himself. No.
He didn't.
Oh, he OD'd.
Yeah, he OD'd.
Was it Robin Williams?
I mean, he did, but he wasn't.
He
But
did.
he wasn't.
Yeah,
hung himself.
No, I know he wasn't drugged, but
God,
I
this is dark.
Didn't know if
Why
he
are
was-
we-
Yeah, let's get back to
David Carradine had the autoerotic asphyxiation, but that's not.
He wasn't on
SNL.
SNL.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I just confused it with somebody else.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, back to like a more lighter note.
Anyway,
So, yeah,
but Joaquin
DC
Phoenix. Okay, here's what I think.
Joaquin?
First, Joaquin.
Well, let me finish
Or
my
is it-
statement
is
real
it-
quick.
Is it Joaquin or is it Joaquin? I think it's just Joaquin.
It's
right?
it's spelled phlegm.
I've already said Joaquin.
No, I think it's Joaquin. I actually went through this recently. I think it's just Joaquin, right?
Joaquin Fair.
I always go Joaquin, but it's just Joaquin.
It ends with an
Joaquin.
N, not an M. Right?
Q-U-I-N.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Q-U-I-N.
Joaquin.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Joaquin.
Well, let me finish my-
Joaquin,
let
okay,
me
you
finish
finish
my
your
statement.
thing, and then I'll wake up. Go
There's a
ahead.
lot of people hating that DC is doing this original story about the Joker, but I'm very excited because I think this whole universe that they got going on right now is just not working out for them, and it's just horrible. I think they should step away from that, do origin stories,
Yeah.
maybe later on re-envision a Justice League, re-envision a whole.
Get
with
away from
a
the shared universe, maybe.
and be darker, because starting with this Joker, you have the opportunity to make that dark. You have the opportunity to make Nightwing dark. You have to, and I think that is their ticket to being as successful as Marvel. Because right now
different.
they're not even.
Yeah, they're
yeah,
trying.
they
I
need
think
to be
they
different.
failed trying to copy Marvel,
Yeah.
and it makes more
Yeah.
sense for them to do something original. I mean, I'm sure Wonder
Do
Woman 2
one-offs.
is going to
The
come
problem
out and
is
be
that-
one-offs.
super success.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't-
do one
don't-
off. Yeah,
don't connect 'em.
The
Yeah.
problem is that
They
they're
want that
trying
Marvel
to
money,
be
man. I know.
what Marvel perfected. Marvel has perfected a way to take comic books and put them on screen.
Yeah.
Like even their shots, if you look at how their shots are done, those are shots you see in comic books. It's crazy. Like you can really almost match the shots.
Yeah.
And DC is trying to do the same thing, and it's almost coming out half-assed. Like Justice League. I'm sorry, that the way they did it, the animation, and everything, it just looked like it was something that was
It's
so.
yeah, and it's not that they need to be dark because or dark, gritty, or grounded. I've always said that, but that's not enough because that's what they've been doing with these movies, and it hasn't worked. There's other elements that you go into. You watch the Dark Knight trilogy, and those movies are not standing on anybody else's shoulder. Really, like they're doing their own thing.
Yeah,
they're not following superhero tropes.
They're completely their own thing.
Yeah, Dark Knight is a
I wouldn't
crime
even.
drama.
Yeah, I don't even.
It's a
include
heist
those
film.
Oh, yeah.
in
It's a
the
detective
Marvel.
film. Yeah,
I don't think of those as comic book films, which they are, but they
don't feel like it. Dark
not at all.
Knight. If you really look at that film,
It's a
there's
detective
barely
film.
any action in that film.
Yeah.
There's
The
actually
thing
not
that's
a lot of
weird
action.
about Dark Knight,
It's a
Yeah.
dark drama.
Yeah.
It's like a detective film.
you know what's weird
I don't
about
know why
those
I'd like
movies
detective
It's like
is
films.
that a man dresses up like a bat. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel
A billionaire.
right. A
Yeah.
billionaire dresses up like a bat and fights crime.
the
Like
cr- that's the
that's
crazy
like
thing.
odd because those
Yeah.
films
Yes.
are so good that you're like, why is this guy dressing up as a bat?
Right.
Like he could
That's
just
the
be like a
craziest
detective.
thing. That's exactly what it's a guy
And
who
he
dresses
fights
up
a
as
guy-
a
and he
bat.
fights a
It's
guy
not
in
about
clown
a
makeup.
superhero.
Yeah.
It's a guy that dresses up as a bat. That's the best way
And
to
he
say
gets
it.
into the psychology of it, and he's fighting
Yeah.
a guy with clown makeup on. Like that
Yeah.
shouldn't work, but it does.
Crazy
It-
Hollywood again.
It shouldn't work because it can go campy, it can get weird, but they get into the realness of it. Like, okay, how
Yeah.
can we do this for real? And what's happening is these other characters, Superman, Wonder Woman, all these people. I mean, Wonder Woman was good, but you get into this really out there shit, so you can't necessarily do it the same way the
Yeah.
Dark Knight movies were done. And I wouldn't have
But
liked
they did
it.
pick like grounded characters. I feel like human characters. They didn't go like Alligator Man or whatever.
Yes,
like
no,
they didn't-
totally. With the Dark
yeah.
Knight,
Which was
they never got
smart.
supernatural with it. They
Yeah.
never got supernatural, which was very smart.
Yeah.
But
Like even Scarecrow.
the Penguin was a little bit
his whole thing
supernatural.
is like,
right,
you know.
Yeah,
Penguin
Scarecrow
was
was just
a
like a
little
psychiatrist.
supernatural.
But the Penguin's
Batman
not in the Nolan films.
Oh, we're just talking about Nolan's? I thought we
we're
were
talking
about John.
no,
Okay.
we're talking about
Oh, yeah.
Nolan
Tim
films.
Burton is like all over the
But
place.
even
Like,
Tim Burton with the Penguin, that was
It
done
was-
well.
it was
He was like a
done well,
deformed
yeah.
child. He wasn't like an actual.
I love
I mean,
the
the Penguin,
stage
like
style that
commanding
they
the
did
Penguins
that.
was kind of ridiculous, but
oh yeah, that's right. He did do
he
that.
commanded
yeah.
all the Penguins.
Yeah,
It was
he
very,
could talk to
It was
him.
very staged. See, but they did that well. It was very stagey, like you see
Oh yeah,
Justice
I love
League.
the Tim Burton films. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was done so well.
I just rewatched Justice League and it is a solid film.
I
it's
enjoyed
not-
it. I enjoyed it. It's just it doesn't stand out.
You
as like
you
a
feel like
real-
there's something missing when you're watching it, but you're also entertained.
I was
en-
disappointed. I was
definitely
just totally
entertained.
disappointed.
You should rewatch it.
I'm so.
I have.
easily-
I've tried.
easily
I honestly
entertained.
did. I've watched it 3 times, and I've tried. And I think I was so disappointed because I felt like, I don't think they meant to do this.
Yeah.
Because the people that are involved are great people. They've done great films. But I feel like it was half-assed, and I feel like
Well-
you can see the rushness. You feel
I think it's probably because Zack Snyder had to walk away from the production, and then
Joss Whedon
came in to wrap it up. I think because from what I've heard or read anyway in these articles, like his version, like Zack Snyder's version, was like totally different. It was like much darker, had a much darker tone, and he wanted to go in kind of a different direction on how it was taken up. And then when Joss Whedon came in, he like reshot. That's how the whole mustache gate happened. He like reshot all this stuff, and then I think he added a lot more humor to the film to like liven it up and make it more Avengers-y. And maybe the producers wanted that. Maybe they didn't want like a darker, like Man of
Maybe they
Steel
used that-
is
maybe
not
they used-
funny.
Maybe they used that as the
Batman
opportunity.
versus
what you're
Superman
saying,
is
yeah.
not humorous.
No,
There's
they
like
had
no
the humor,
jokes.
the
in
humor
there.
ended up in Justice League as a
Yeah.
result because
Yeah.
people were like, "It's too depressing." These films, but also
Which is jarring.
They,
but I
they,
liked
they went
Man
to
of
that.
Steel.
But
I
they,
liked that like dark kind of Superman
I know.
tone.
I wanted more out of all these films, though, and I did enjoy it. Like I always say that I'm entertained and I'm enjoyed.
Yeah.
I don't sit there going I'm upset. I was entertained. I don't feel like I wasted my time watching these movies.
No.
I never feel like I wasted my time
Justice
watching The
League,
Fiend.
But the problem, Justice League was just so involved in tropes. Like they just kept doing the superhero. Like it was just another guy trying to control the planet, destroy
swarm
the
of
planet
bugs.
with the big
Yeah.
The mother box.
with the big
The mother
ambiguous
box.
Yeah, there was just a
No, there were 3 of
tesseract.
them,
But it was
3
like
mother
yeah,
boxes.
they're tesseract. It's just a tesseract.
I know.
from the
I
Marvel
thought I was
movie.
watching like Avengers. I was
I
like,
know,
is
but I
this
was like,
basically
but I
Avengers in
literally
the
just sit there and go, oh my God, why did they do that? Like, I don't get, like, who fucking thought that was okay? That angers me when I sit there going, there are so many smart people, a lot of resources, and somebody thought that was okay.
That's what I felt.
Common
Yeah,
denominator.
that's what I felt.
Somebody thought it was okay
Not
instead
even-
of going, we need to break
I
the
have a
mold
lot
if
of
we want- we
all
need to
my
stand
nieces
out.
and
Even with that
nephews
is why
watched
would you
that movie
choose-
and they loved it. All my
And-
nieces and nephews are like in their 11, 12,
They knew
13,
they would make
14,
money,
15.
but
like
they-
they were like, oh, Justice League was amazing.
It's not that they were going to lose
But I
money
think
on
it's being-
Justice League. It's that they were going to lose money on the next film. The more of these films you do that don't break the mold and don't do something original, don't feel like, wow, they're really fucking really giving it their all here, it then affects your sales on your next movie.
But
'Cause people were like, I don't trust you. Like,
Here's
I
the
don't trust
thing.
you.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing. it becomes a Transformer
Right.
film. And that's what it's doing. It's it's like almost they don't care that it gets better. They just putting it out because it's a product that people like.
Right.
And it's not the film, it's the product. People love Batman. People love Superman. People love Wonder Woman. They love all those.
There's a built-in fan base.
There's a built-in fan base. And they're just supplying them content, not a fucking film, a content.
Right.
Yeah.
Which pisses me off because I don't even know why the fuck are you going to go with the Superman's death as your first like story for the Justice League.
Yeah. Well, they ended.
Let me
Batman
call
versus
you up
Superman
and
with
smack you over the phone. Why would you do that?
And they just the way they handled it was so weird. Like he's like dead, and then they dig him up. They literally dig his body up, throw it in some juice inside the old Krypton
He's back
ship.
and he's
it's
angry.
lazy. It's
They
lazy.
zap him,
It's
and then
lazy.
he's back, but he's like confused. And then Lois Lane shows
beats the
up, and
shit
then
out of
he's
them.
like all good.
He's all good.
and you're
yeah.
like, oh, that was easy.
It's lazy.
The scene went
It's
like
lazy.
this. Oh,
There were-
there she is.
there were a
I'm
couple of
I'm
lines of
I'm
dialogue.
down.
Yeah.
I'm calm down. I'm calm down, people. It's okay.
But even like when Henry Cavill says to Batman after he like picks him up, flies into the air, and he's like choking out Batman, and he's like, "Do you bleed?" or something. And I was like, that would have felt more like it's a great line for him to say back
'cause
after
Batman
the
versus
first film,
Superman,
but the whole scene felt forced because he
Yeah.
had literally just shown up.
It was a
like-
reshoot.
yeah, it was like this
Yeah.
like add-in, later, and it felt that way.
Right.
It felt
Yeah.
like off.
Again, and I'll say it because I say it
And
a
that
thousand times. I was
mustache, like every time I watch it, I'm distracted.
I wonder if we would have known. If we
I
didn't
wish
know about
I
it,
never
if we would have
knew.
noticed it.
I wish I never fucking knew because
You
now
can see
every
it
time
did-
I watch his upper lip just looks fucking weird, like not natural.
It looks
I disconnect from that.
swollen. It looks swollen.
you?
I have
looks so
figured out a
swollen.
way where I can disconnect from it.
Yeah,
and
I
just
can tell which
watch.
scenes have it and
Yeah.
which don't. That's
I
how
know.
bad it
I
is.
know, it's
But
weird.
I'm like,
But
Where do I look? Where do I look?
But the Joaquin
Yeah.
Phoenix one, I like the idea they're going to do these one-off films. They're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
we're not going to connect them to that because Jared Leto is technically in that universe as Joker.
Yeah.
He's
do people not like Jared Leto? I thought he was interesting.
People were mixed on him, surprisingly, because I thought he was good. Because I thought he didn't do what Jack Nicholson did, and he didn't do what Heath Ledger did. He did his own thing, and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm cool with that. I was fine. And they're apparently even trying to do this is what they said. They're also doing a movie with Jared Leto's Joker, a solo film for him. So you have two different Joker films not connected. I feel like that's not going to really
That's not
happen,
gonna
though.
work,
They're
yeah.
just going to do the Joaquin Phoenix one. I don't think they'll do the Jared Leto one as well. But the Joaquin Phoenix one's supposed to be its own thing. Now, here's a theory. They might end up doing it, still connecting the Joaquin Phoenix one to the universe because there's this
it's
thing where
chilling.
Jared Leto was
Yeah.
actually just Robin before, and he then got fucking corrupted and mentally unstable and
Yeah.
became the Joker. So he could be a second iteration of the Joker. Joaquin Phoenix could be the original one.
Yeah.
It's a crime drama in the 80s about how he became the Joker. He could then later eat it or whatever, and then
that'd be
Jared Leto
interesting.
takes up his mantle.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
You know what is
That
interesting?
would be. I would like to see that.
It just occurred
That'd be
to me,
interesting.
like in the DC universe, it seems like there's a lot of
Because that's how
like,
Robin got killed. I'm sorry.
Richard Todd, the second Robin, was
yeah.
killed by the Joker. He
Exactly.
blew him up or whatever.
Yeah.
Threw him off a bridge or something.
It's interesting because I was just thinking about like Marvel versus DC, and like a lot of the characters that we associate as like popular characters with the DC universe are bad guys.
Yeah.
Like they're bad guys, but in the Marvel universe, I haven't seen one Marvel film, right? That none of those Marvel characters were they may have had like bad origins, but they ultimately became good and joined the Avengers or whatever. But like, are there
Like
any
Loki?
Are there any solo films?
Even
Even Loki became a
solo,
good guy though.
Solo
No.
films where they're bad guys.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like a
Like a
solo
Joker
film for a
type
villain?
For a villain.
A solo film with a villain.
Yeah.
No, because Loki hasn't gotten his own one. No, they're
But
always.
I don't think any of them will.
No.
I feel like
I
Marvel.
don't
is
even see
focused-
one that I would want to.
Yeah, that's
but
what I'm
Joker
saying.
has, because of Heath Ledger, because of Jack Nicholson, and just because the character is
Yeah.
way more fascinating than any of the Marvel villains.
Yeah.
He's such an
Is that an interesting
guy.
DC has really a lot more fascinating villains.
Yeah, like they.
than superheroes. Because really,
It is-
if you think
well,
of
the Dark Knight trilogy is built on the villains.
Yeah.
but if you think of bad guys,
Yeah.
you think of Brainiac, you think of Joker, you think
Yeah,
of those
DC, yeah.
DC.
But even Batman, in a
Penguin,
weird way,
Catwoman.
is like kind of
Catwoman.
like he is definitely an anti-hero, and
Yeah.
because even in the Dark Knight trilogy, he's like, or I'm sorry, not Dark Knight, and Batman versus Superman, he's like trying to murder Superman. Like he's like
Right.
the movie starts with Superman, that whole end of Man
Yeah.
of Steel,
Yeah.
and like all these people die at like Wayne Enterprises, and he's like, I'm going to kill this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like
Right. They pit
Marvel
them
doesn't.
against
I mean,
each
they
other.
have
They
Civil
give us
War.
Civil War. Civil War was
is
the Batman versus
but
Superman.
it
They were
did
the
not
same
feel
time.
as dark at
did.
all.
Right.
That
There were
Batman
dark
versus
elements in
Superman
it, but it was
felt.
done differently. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
Civil
didn't
War
feel
is
as
one of the
heavy.
darker.
Civil War
of the-
was very dark.
of the movies.
If you
Civil
think about
War just
the
feels
whole
like two
battle-
people that were great friends that worked together that kind of felt like they became not friends but not enemies.
That's how
they're
Civil
like
War
trying to
ended.
murder each other. If you watch those scenes, they're like
They both had different
There's
views
people
on
getting
how
shot
they
out of
should
the
handle
sky.
this problem, and
Yeah.
they were trying to handle it different ways.
It was the
And they
whole
were
thing
stopping
where-
each
very
other.
violent.
But I
People
didn't
get
think I
killed,
never
like-
thought that Captain America
War
or
Machine
Iron
gets
Man was going to
crippled.
kill either one.
Oh, rewatch it.
Yeah.
If you
I'll
watch
It was all about look.
No, they're like you think they're gonna fucking murder each other. That scene where Captain America and Winter Soldier are fighting Iron Man, they are trying to murder each other because War Machine gets shot out of the sky, ends up crippled later on,
Yeah.
and then fucking who comes down? Falcon comes down.
Yes, yeah.
Anthony Mackie, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean." And then Iron Man doesn't even look at him and just blasts him, and fucking so he's then subdued or whatever, and then it's this whole thing where he's so fucking pissed off
Yeah.
at this point, and then Captain America finds out. Or Iron Man finds out that Captain America or Winter Soldier killed his dad because they
Yeah.
got that footage, and he's like, "I'm gonna fucking kill him. Like that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna murder the
Yeah,
like,
it was-
Winter Soldier." So it
that
gets
whole
very
airport
like,
scene was really
yeah, they
it
get
was
very
intense.
like I'm gonna murder. There are the more side characters in the Civil War story that
Like
that are just like I'm fighting on this side. We're friends still, like Hawkeye and
Ant-Man,
Black
Spider-Man,
Widow.
all those.
Yeah, they're lighter, but Iron Man and like Steve Rogers and Tony Stark are like and Bucky. That gets like really fucking.
But I
intense.
feel like Steve Rogers was even like, like, I can't let you do this, Tony. And Tony's like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
And like, that's their conflict. But like in this,
That was
like,
the whole thing.
Batman,
he's like, he was
Batman,
that whole my friend. And he goes, so
Batman
was I.
is like just pure,
But then all he says is Martha, and then he's
yeah,
cool.
that whole beginning, that was the
Yeah.
So
whole thing.
like, it's not actually
That's
as strong
bad
as you thought.
writing.
Yeah,
No,
that was
but I
that
mean,
whole
his-
thing.
his,
They
like-
set it up.
Deadpool 2.
I mean-
well, that's just lazy writing.
Yeah,
Well,
just lazy writing.
Yeah, that was that whole thing. Is that they said like, I'm sorry, I have to do this job, and they said the same thing. And they're doing their job.
Yeah.
They show the respect
is
for
like
each other, but then they
workplace
said
integrity has been violated.
Exactly, yeah. But they're like, I'm sorry, I have to do this.
Yeah.
It was
That's
no,
what
I
I'm
agree.
saying, but that was different from like Batman. Like Batman was literally like researching how to murder this alien that's now taken over planet Earth
Yeah.
and creating all this trouble. for
Right,
everybody.
right. Well, anyways, I like the Joaquin Phoenix thing. I like that Martin Scorsese is
That's a
involved
perfect
in
guess.
it because it's a crime drama
We
in the
know
80s.
who's directing it?
Todd Phillips.
Todd Phillips, right,
Todd
yeah.
Phillips is directing it. Joaquin Phoenix is also, let's just look at him as an actor. Like, if,
Oh, he's an
if you
incredible
could name,
actor.
you could name maybe a handful of people. If you go, that person's gonna be Joker, and be like, that'd be fucking good. I'd like to see that.
Joaquin
And
Phoenix is in my
top
list.
of that list would be Joaquin
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
When they said Jared Leto originally, I was like, oh, that could be interesting. He's kind of can go out there with a character. That'd be interesting.
Jared Leto-
Adrian Brody was looking at it at one point, just physically. Adrian Brody. Not necessarily.
Oh, yeah.
He's a good actor, but
great
it's
actor,
actually
yeah.
his features look the most like Joker does in the
Yeah.
comic books. That skinny,
He's very thin,
long,
yeah.
thin. He could play, and he was actually vying for that job at one point years ago. This was like back in I think for The Dark Knight when Heath Ledger ended up being cast. So there are a few people, but top of that list, if you say Joaquin Phoenix is gonna play the Joker, I'd be like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
that's interesting. He was almost, by the way, Doctor Strange. He was very close to signing to be Doctor Strange in the Marvel universe.
wow,
Yeah, that would have been interesting, but I'm glad he didn't because Marvel doesn't go out there as much, but this
Yeah.
is something where he can really sink his teeth into it. I think they're going to make it more Dark Knight-ish, meaning there's not going to be like all this supernatural shit.
It's interesting that he's even doing this. I mean, I've read interviews that he's done recently because he doesn't seem to really do that much.
Superhero, yeah.
In like in the way of interviews, but he had that. There's a new movie he came out with.
The On Foot.
Yeah, where he's like trying to like
He can't
save
get
somebody's
that far
daughter who
on
got
foot,
kidnapped
is like
or
the name of
something.
it or something. Yeah, he won't get that far on foot.
Yeah, it's like a
called
long
something like
title.
that,
Yeah. And they were interviewing him on this, and he was just like, he seemed like he's more interested in like the art of filmmaking and less like because a lot of actors, I'm sure, if they get offered a part in the Marvel universe, they're like, well, I'm set for the next 10 years.
Right.
Like I don't even have to think about
Seriously?
acting anymore. I can
Yeah.
just walk into this.
Well, that's
and make millions of dollars.
That's
Yeah.
the great thing about him. Like he can bring that artistic darkness to the Joker. I think this is a great opportunity. I think the problem that I had with Jared Leto was that people didn't actually give him a chance because the Joker was so well done.
Yeah, he had like
Before-
almost a sliminess in that, where he's like, even his performance was very like,
No,
everything
I don't
was
think
like
he did-
drawn, and it was very different.
It was
very
different, but I
different.
think people just didn't, because of time.
Yeah.
There wasn't that much time between what's his name,
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger
Jared
and
Leto.
him.
Yeah.
People didn't give Jared Leto an opportunity. I don't think he did bad. I think he did a
And
different
people
Joker.
didn't
It
love the
wasn't
movie.
bad.
People didn't love the movie.
And
And,
it-
Jared Leto wasn't in a lot of the movie. So there was just
Exactly.
just kinda
He
there.
had a
It's
lot
like
of
almost
bad
a-
scenarios put in front of him.
Yeah, he wasn't the bad guy
to do this, and it
It
wasn't
really
his fault.
No,
I mean,
he
the movie
wasn't at
was
all.
about bad guys, like
Yeah.
trying to beat the sorceress girl or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of like, all right.
It's
He was
another
more
one
of
of
a-
those world huge magical
This
things.
is the
It's
world
like-
of comic books. On
Yeah.
like, if you have an image and some dialogue, you can go in any fucking direction you want.
But then
And
again,
and
this is
people
why I
are
always
gonna-
said Civil War I like better, because the bad guy wasn't some big thing. They pretended like it was some big thing, and it ended up being just this one guy whose family was killed.
This
because of what
human
the
being, yeah.
the Avengers did. So he basically devised a plot to pit them against each other, and I just
Yeah.
liked it. They went in a different direction. It wasn't. It was like. It was brilliant. It's like some guy, some normal fucking guy, like you, me, Diego,
Yeah.
whatever.
Well,
who's
they
just
do
smart
that
enough
a little bit in
to do
Normal
that.
guys
Batman
like
versus
you and
Superman.
Nick.
Do you remember the guy that in the wheelchair and then
Yeah.
he allows
Yeah.
Lex Luthor to put the bomb
Yeah.
inside and he blows up like
Yeah,
the Senate or whatever?
exactly with Holly. Hunter.
Superman like walks out, everybody's on fire.
So I just wanted to say real quick, they are doing they're at least from what it's been said is the Killing Joke comic. It's Joker's The Killing Joke. It was a comic called The Killing Joke. That's being used as a basis for the Joaquin Phoenix movie. And I just want to read a real quick thing about it just to give you an idea. The Killing Joke is basically the man who will become the Joker is an unnamed engineer who quits his job at a chemical company to become a stand-up comedian, only to fail miserably. Desperate to support his pregnant wife, Jeannie, he agrees to guide two criminals through the chemical plant where he previously worked. It's like a whole thing. He ends up in an accident in a vat, because Batman's chasing him or whatever. And then he goes nuts. He goes, the engineer's disfigurement compounded with the loss of his family drives him completely insane and marks the birth of the Joker. And then it skips to years later, and he's in Arkham Asylum, and then Batman goes to see him, and he's put a decoy in his place, and he's escaped, and then he ends up like torturing Gordon with like LSD to continue his mental torture. It's dark and insane, and he's just a complete fucking madman.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, there's just if they use parts of this, it could really just like how they used in The Dark Knight. They used year one was really in Batman Begins, but they used. Dark Knight Returns. So there's just a lot of shit they use. So if they and this was one of those dark, heavy, grounded comics from the 80s, I think 80s or 90s. If they use that for this movie, they could be going back to the Dark Knight formula.
They can have the Killing Joke.
They should call it The Killing Joke, by the way, the movie. That would be a good title.
That'd be a great title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say my Joker is always gonna be Mark Hamill.
Is that really your Joker?
Yeah.
You're just saying that just to be able to say
No,
something.
I mean,
there's no way
you
can-
don't
I
play
love
video
him.
games. Maybe you have, but
No,
like,
I'm a huge Mark Hamill. Like, I used to watch that Batman animated series in the early '90s religiously. I've seen like
yeah.
every episode.
But you haven't played any of these.
I played
Rocksteady
Arkham Asylum.
Arkham
Yeah,
Asylum.
I loved it.
There's one that's like Arkham City or something
Yeah.
like that. Like there's like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
Those games are fucking incredible.
They're
And
incredible.
even
They are
the
incredible.
representation of the Joker in there, like Mark Hamill plays it, the story.
They
everything
literally
like
could
that,
make
it's so
those
good.
into movies,
Yeah.
and then they'd be incredible movies.
It's so good.
Yeah.
But I love Mark Hamill. I think he's great. But
He's like-
Heath
he's the
Ledger's
voice
Heath
of the
Ledger.
Joker.
Right. He's
No.
but he's his own thing. That's what I love about all these Joker.
How about you split the paycheck? Mark Hamill does the voice, and
Yeah.
you get somebody that
That
looks
way it's
exactly like the
dubbed
Joker.
over.
Yeah, just dub
Exactly.
over.
I want to see
Technology's
like
there.
the foreign version of like Dark Knight with like Mark Hamill
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
over
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
in another language
But
or something.
Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, Mark Hamill, even Jared Leto, and now Joaquin Phoenix, all going to be completely different iterations of
Yeah.
the Joker. And that's what I love about the character. There's so many different ways to go with it that
Yeah.
I've not been disappointed by any of these guys.
Yeah.
Caesar
Yeah.
Romero,
The only
original
reason
one's
I
a
was
little bit ridiculous,
disappointed
but-
about Jared Leto.
The original Adam West one, Caesar Romero as
yeah.
Joker. It's kind of ridiculous, but it was fine. It was fine.
The only reason I was disappointed about Jared Leto was because I got caught up in like all the bad things that was happening in the film, and I personally didn't give him the chance.
Yeah, I liked Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I
I don't think.
I liked it. Actually,
Yeah.
really. I enjoyed that more than I like Man of
You
Steel or
know,
Batman
you know
vs.
what?
Superman.
Like I don't know, like ruins these films for me to some degree is like the swarms. Like in Justice League, there's like the bug guys that are flying around. It's like the same enemy. I feel like I'm like watching a video game.
Well,
play
that was
out.
my problem with Justice League. It felt like this,
but it was
a rehash.
Justice League, Suicide Squad, even Guardians of the Galaxy, fucking Avengers.
Yeah.
Like when that giant swarm. Then there's only like a handful
That was
of
the first one to do it, though.
specific bad guys.
That was the first one to do it.
No, they did it in the first one.
Avengers. That's what I'm saying. The first
Oh,
Avengers.
yeah.
You talking about the new one?
Even in the new one, the scene at the end where the shield is up and they're in like.
Oh, all those things come down and from
Yeah, and they're like that swarm of like enemies that are
Seems
all
too easy.
fucking identical.
Seems easy, yeah.
It's like the laziest shit, and it
Yeah.
drives me fucking crazy. I don't
I
know
mean,
if anybody
Lord of the
else
Rings,
is
man.
annoyed by like the
Lord of the
swarm.
Rings did it like in every movie.
I know.
There
Maybe
was
they were the
always
first. Maybe when
battles.
they did it, it was like, okay, like I actually felt like there was a threat or
Yeah.
whatever. But you're right.
No, they always felt
did.
different though. They always
They
look,
did
all the
make a-
orcs
yeah.
look different.
He
They
made
all
a
look,
point
the
of showing,
Uruk-hai-
like, these variations
Even the
in their
Uruk-hai
face.
didn't look the same.
Oh no, they didn't because it
Yeah.
wasn't CG.
Yeah.
They used prosthetics. They had different actors with different,
Yeah. Star Wars though. Star Wars always did with the robots and shit, like the
Robots is robots.
stormtroopers. were
Robots are robots.
Stormtroopers.
They're not robots. They're
That's what I'm
cloned
saying.
human beings.
They were the robots in
They're
like Phantom Menace,
cloned-
but then there's
You
stormtroopers.
don't know, Nick.
They're
You weren't
cloned.
there.
They're
Well,
cloned
that's what I'm
Boba Fett's
saying.
daddy.
I know they are.
They
Jango
clone Boba
Yeah,
Fett's
but that's what
daddy.
Jango Fett.
Jango Fett, exactly. But no, that's what I'm saying is like they had the robots in like the prequels, all the robot ones, and then in the
Yeah.
originals they had all the stormtroopers. I'm like, those are swarms too.
Yeah.
it's a trope. That's what it is. It's been used a million times in a million things.
But don't you? Doesn't it like now with CG? It like just
That's what I'm
annoying
saying.
and feel
We do
lazy?
demand differences. We just demand. I know. What you
They
mean.
need to get rid of it, or at least differentiate. Like have like you
We
know.
need the killing joke.
We need the killing joke. There you
Let
go.
there be light. Jesus. All right.
All right, guys. Well, I'm hoping that I see more on this Joaquin Phoenix film because I want to know more. Because
hope it
I'm very
happens.
excited about it. I'm
And
very
Zombieland too?
Happy to see Zombieland too. Yes, I'm actually I like Joaquin Phoenix a lot. I like a lot of his films. So
Oh
I'm,
my God,
I'm
he's so
beat up
good.
on this story.
Gladiator,
like
To
crazy.
Die For.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Signs. His first like one of his
Signs.
first big films. Yeah,
He's incredible.
He's incredible.
Her.
Her.
He's not been in anything bad. Even going back to Parenthood. You know, in like '88 or whatever. He's
Oh,
a
yeah.
kid
Oh,
in that
yeah, that's
movie.
right, yeah.
I think that's when he was going by like it wasn't he Leaf. Anyway, he had like a different name at the time. I thought.
I don't know.
think he was going by Leaf or something like that.
Was
or
River
that's his brother.
Phoenix still around at the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were both actors at the same time. But
I
Joaquin
don't know,
Phoenix
I
was
like-
like 12 years
one
old
of-
in Parenthood, and he looks like a troubled kid. Like he does it really
Yeah.
well. He's always been a great actor.
Yeah, one of my favorite films was or is still Sneakers, which with River
Oh,
Phoenix. So
yeah,
I
that's
in my
true.
mind, River
That's true.
Phoenix
Dude,
is
I
like
almost pressed
gonna
play
live
on that the
forever.
other day for like the 30th time. I love Sneakers.
Yeah, I've seen it like
love
100 times.
It's so good.
Well, let's keep up on these stories. We'll keep you updated. We'll let you know what's going on. If we find something else about it, we'll put it on our social media. Check us out.
Yep, the new Joker movie is supposed to start shooting in the fall. It has actually been officially greenlit. It's
Boom.
expected then. So
That
you know,
means it's
that
on.
means it'll be around for November 1st, 2019. No, it's not. It's gonna be next year though.
Next
I don't
year,
know.
exactly.
Yeah, I know they locked in the date. I
Sometime.
just forget what it was. Yeah.
And then also, Zombieland has been greenlit for
19
Next year?
October. Yeah, no. They're
Oh,
starting,
that's right,
they're starting
October, yeah,
shooting in
October
January,
2019,
and
yeah.
it'll be released in October. So just in time for Halloween.
So keep up with us, and we'll keep up with it, so you guys are in the know. I'm Tiago D'Souza,
I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
and we'll see you next time. And get to the podcast.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.